Hi everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with the Believathon week 3. So it is already Wednesday and you're probably wondering, Kelsey, it's Wednesday and we haven't seen your face. So I'd actually recorded like so many videos. I had updated you on all of my reading, I had gone through stuff, I had showed you what I did this weekend and all of that fun stuff. And I lost all of it. So this is just starting out great. But I thought I've been having some issues with my hard drive and it like officially like crashed. It's my external hard drive and that's where I keep everything for YouTube, and it crashed and I can't get anything off of it anymore. So this is fun for me. So everything that I had already recorded for this vlog and a video that I had planned to get out in like 2 days as of recording this, I was supposed to like have it already edited, isn't a thing anymore, and so that is fine. Everything is fine. So it's just going to be a learning experience, and that's what's happening. Sorry for the mini rant. Sorry to start off this with so much fun, but that's what's happening. And I had a friend come in town yesterday for about a day, so I wasn't going to record anything for this readathon yesterday either because she was going to be here and I knew I wasn't going to get any reading done, so it's just been an iffy week. So I do have like random videos, which you've already seen, of Sunday, which somehow I still had on my computer and hadn't been transferred over yet, so thank goodness I have something, but it's a day. So from what you've already seen, we decided to put up our Christmas tree because A, we don't have like a real one yet. We are going to do an artificial one, and that one that I have is like super tiny, and it's one that my parents had before me, and so it's just the one that I've had, and I think it's the one that we're going to use this year. There are no lights on it. It is still in the corner of the living room. It's been put together. It's looked like that for like 3 days, so nothing has happened to it yet. So I probably won't get around to that today, but I do have some reading updates for you, so I'm hoping I can remember everything that I have talked about. So I left off the vlog last week talking about how I really wanted to finish the first in a series of Fortunate Events. I wanted to finish that on the weekend. I wanted to just sit down and read all of it, and I did. So that is great. I actually have finished all of this. I did it in one sitting, which was great. It did take me most of the day because I was sitting next to Chris. He was watching sports, I think, but I did finish this one, so I ended up giving this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really loved this. I was so happy to go back in this world. From what I remember, I do have notes, so I'm trying to remember everything about this, but from what I remember, I don't think if I had picked this up right now, if I would have liked it. But because I've already read it and I'm going back into the world, I think I like it, and that is why, like, I was okay with it, because I think, like, this whole readathon, middle grade and I are really iffy, so you have to have a really compelling story for me to want to read it, because the writing of middle grade is so, what's the word I'm looking for? Simple. The writing for middle grade is so simple that it usually like throws me off, and the writing in this is so simple. So it's definitely made for younger audiences, but like I said, because I've already read it, I think that was okay. The biggest thought that I had while reading this was it is definitely made for young middle grade because the writing is super simple. He goes into a lot of description of different phrases, different uses of the phrase, different words that might be bigger for some readers who are younger and might not understand them. So there's definitely that going in here. With that being said, this is a horrific book. Like, not what, like, this just, like, it's not great. It starts off with the orphans, and they lose their parents in a fire, and then they instantly move in with this guy who's trying to steal all their money, and is going to do everything that he possibly can, to the point of, like, the events that happen at the end of the book, which, there was no way that is legal. Like, the fact that Mr. Poe, who is the banker who is helping them and is basically in charge of all their money until Violet becomes of age, takes them away from Count Olaf to give them to whoever's next, not because of what Count Olaf did, but because of, like, he gives, like, some stupid answer, and I'm like, can we just talk about the fact that what Count Olaf just tried to do was very illegal, but you were like, that's fine, but this thing is a problem. It's just, yeah. So, there's a lot about this book that is not for the faint of heart. Another thing about this book that kind of drove me a little bit crazy was the 3 kids in this book are kind of stupid. And for 3 kids who are supposed to be generally a little bit smarter, Klaus is very book savvy, Violet is very inventive, that kind of stuff. They don't understand simple social cues. At one point, Klaus comes and basically confronts Count Olaf, and they're talking, and Count Olaf is just kind of saying one thing, and you can tell that he's being sarcastic because he's smiling and smirking, and Klaus doesn't understand why he's smiling when everything bad is happening. And so I don't know if it's just that they don't understand Count Olaf yet because this is the first time they're meeting him, and that throughout the series they get more clever, if you will. Also, they get older, but they get to know him better, and they understand what he's like. I don't know, but there's just some social cues in here that I feel like they should have gotten. I guess that's asking a lot from a child, but also, I don't know, there's just a lot that I was like, really? You didn't get that he was gonna do that? And then again, I also have read this before, so I did know the story. So I was having some struggles here because I felt like the kids should have gotten a lot more than they did. But with that being said, this was a very enjoyable book. I did enjoy going back into this world. I was sucked back in right away. So I definitely want to continue to reread the series. And this one fulfilled my prompt for reading a childhood classic, and I was buddy reading this with Serena from Wandering Mind, so I'm curious to reach out to her when she's done with the book and kind of see what she thinks of it, because she hasn't read this before, and I have, so I'm really intrigued to see what her thoughts are as a first-time reader. But I definitely enjoyed this one, so another one down, yay! And then I know for a fact I haven't updated anyone on this one, but I read the first 2 chapters of Molly Warner. Still loving it, still seeing the plot develop. Not a lot has happened yet, but there's definitely some new stuff that's going on that I'm like, yes, preach, I feel that. So I'm really excited. I still love the writing style. Again, I'm only 26 pages into it, so not enough to really form an opinion, but I did want to update you that I have read a couple chapters and I am very excited about where this is going. And then, The School for Good and Evil. So I've definitely read more than I updated you in my last vlog, and I've definitely read more than I was supposed to have updated you whenever I tried to update you. I'm somewhere in the middle of chapter 16, which is 16 starts on about page 236. So I think I'm about halfway through, which to me is how is that possible? Because I feel like so much of the plot has already happened, which means there are still so much left. As of right now, we are seeing Sophie really come into herself as an evil person, and she doesn't understand it. She doesn't see that she's being evil, and she just is. I think I tried to explain this in my last vlog, and I don't think I did a very good job of this. Sophie, to me, is a very straightforward, she's an idiot, and her character, she can't see how she could possibly be evil, but you as the reader from page 1 are like, oh yeah, she's definitely evil because she's super vain, and she is being super mean to all these people, and everyone is like, oh, well, okay. To me, it's very, very clear. With Agatha, it is not clear, because she definitely has a more genuine and nicer heart than Sophie, but she is not the picture-perfect princess. She is not nice. Actually, most of the princesses in this book are actually kind of jerks and mean girls and being mean to her because she possibly looks different, and there's just a whole thing there. But she has to confront her reflection a few times and talk to it to get to a certain room, and even her reflection is like, well, alright, you are evil, and then we'll let her pass. So I don't know what this means, because to me, Sophie is cut, clear, evil. That is it. She does care, but she always has an ultimatum or like an ulterior motive for why she's doing the things that she's doing. She says that she's still friends with Agatha, but will drop her like that for a dude. And Agatha just wants to go home. Like, that's all she wants. But with her, like, I can see her being, like, I see her being both good and bad. So I'm wondering what that's gonna mean, because I know that I've heard a few things by the author where this entire series, the point of it is to turn evil and good on its head and kind of give them a new, different kind of person. And I just, this character, like the character development between them, just like, I can't, like, it makes my brain hurt because of everything that I've just said. But I have definitely read a little bit more. Like I said, I'm probably about halfway now. It's good. This one's taking me a long time, and I don't know why it's taking me so long, but I've got like about 8 hours left in the audiobook. Those are my updates for now. Sorry I started off ranty, but 'tis life. But I just got my November Owl Crate and my special edition Owl Crate, so I just, recorded those. Wow, words are hard. I just recorded those, so this room is a mess, so I need to put everything back. Oh, but I do want to show you something, because I think it's really cool. So, I wanted to show you one of the things that I got in the November box, because I recorded a video of myself opening the special edition box, but I didn't record a video of myself opening the November box, just because it was like another box, and I just didn't feel like it deserved a special video. But I am very excited, because they included the monthly planner in this box, and I've been toying with the idea of kind of creating my own bullet journal-like thing, because there is some stuff in the planners that they have that, like, they don't let me write out. Like, for example, this, like, I wrote an entire page on all of my notes while I was reading A Series of Unfortunate Events, and I did that with, like, 3 different books last month, because when it comes to wrap-ups, which I know I've said before, I feel like I don't really go in depth, because A, I don't want to spoil it, and B, I just, like, can't remember anything, so I put down, like, little words that I think will, like, spark memories, and they just don't. So I need to find a way to actually do that, but I wanted to see what the Owl Crate reading planner looked like, because I do really enjoy those, and I love this one. This is my favorite one. Also, it's like crazy thick, but I'm really excited about this one, and I just wanted to share with you. So I'm gonna try to do it this way, because I feel like it's gonna be a lot easier. I'm obsessed with the way that they've got it laid out, and I just kind of want to show you guys. It goes straight into this favorite books page, which I've never actually used. I probably should. This is one that they've had in all of the planners that I've gotten from them, so I've just never actually used it. And then it goes straight into the monthly spread, where you can put whatever month you want, that kind of stuff. Obviously, I will start in January, and I'll fill this out at some later point. And then they go to these 2 pages, which is the wish list page and the TBR page. This is a page that, like, I definitely liked. They had something very similar in this year's planner, where they had, like, the days of the month laid out and when books were coming out, so you could have books that you were interested in, and then also have kind of a monthly TBR page, which I actually used a lot, surprisingly. And then they go straight into the weekly planner pages. Now, what they did before is they had all of the monthly pages up in the front, and then the weekly planner pages were in the back. Now they've put them inside the months, which I think makes a lot more sense. Now, I don't use the planner pages very much, but I want to do that differently. But so they have all of these pages up here during the month, which to me makes sense. And then this is what I am the most excited about. These are the new pages, kind of what they've done, where these are the books that you have read. So on each book that you read, obviously you've got the normal stuff, the title, the author, that kind of stuff. They have the ratings over here. They've added this line where you can put the genre and how many pages it is, which I absolutely love. And then your normal thoughts section here, which, like before, it's only like 3 lines, so trying to get all of your thoughts in these 3 lines is a little hard. So I think, like I said, I'm going to try to do something a little bit bullet journal-y so I can do those longer reviews. And then another thing that I'm obsessed with is whether or not you read it physically, an ebook or an audiobook. I love that because, spoiler, something that I definitely want to do a little bit more in my channel next year is kind of have these stats in my wrap-ups. So having this here and having, you know, the genre and pages and that kind of stuff is definitely going to help me there. And then you've got your favorite quotes, which you can put down here. Now, I don't have a lot of those. I usually tab them in the books, but that is something that I can definitely write down. And then you have the general monthly wrap-up, which is also new. You have how many books you read, the genres, pages, favorite books, least favorite, DNF'd books, things like this, which will definitely help with those stats that I was talking about. And then a bunch of pages for notes, which I could use for that bullet journal like wrap up, but we shall see. And then it goes obviously to the next month. But I love this new layout. I'm mostly obsessed with this part of it because it has some new things in here that I think I can definitely use. So that is, I just wanted to show you a little bit because I'm very excited about it. The way that they've laid this one out, I just love it so much more. And I love the aesthetic plant floral thing that I've got going on here, and like this just makes me very happy. But I just wanted to show you that because I had just opened up the November one, and it's the little things in life, you guys. With all of that being said, it is already like 3:30, so I need to do something. I need to probably start editing the video that I just shot. I don't know if you can see this, but like, no, you can't. This is a mess. That is everything that was in the boxes. But so I need to put all of that away, and then I need to at least get the video onto my computer. I found an old thumb drive that I can use until I get a better hard drive. Yeah, I need to clean everything here. And then I'll probably listen to more School for Good and Evil because I really want to finish that book. Like, that one is, it's so good. I just want to listen to it. Like, that's all I want to do. So I need to do that. I need to clean up everything, and then we'll see where we're at. This day has not been super productive just because I've had to rethink everything, but we're gonna start over and we're gonna make tomorrow even better, and we're just gonna keep going. That's what's gonna happen, you guys. Hello, I have an update for you guys. I finished a book. I finally finished the School for Good and Evil. Y'all, this book was so good, and I have so many thoughts. So, without spoiling anything, the ending was a lot, and so much happened all at once. And the one criticism that I think I have for the ending of this book is not what happened, but that I didn't understand what was going on. So the very end, everything happened in the last chapter, and I had to go and read the synopsis of the second book in the series to really understand what happened at the very, very end. I'm not even kidding you, the last 3 sentences of this book. Because, I wasn't entirely sure. I thought one thing was happening, and then it turns out something else is happening. I just wish there had been, another sentence or another few words even. That's all that was needed to really kind of tell the reader what was happening. Because, I had no idea. I was so confused. But with that being said, this was a really good look at, an alternative kind of fairy tale story. There is one line, I wonder if I can find it, because I don't think it's going to ruin anything, but it did happen relatively near the end, and it's just broke me, and it made this book summed up in one sentence. So it was this is the very last chapter. And like I said, I don't think it ruins anything. Sophie is crying, basically, and she says, I don't want to be evil. And then Agatha says, you're not evil, Sophie, you're human. Yes, like that. There are so many good themes within this book, good themes about even like some super strong things like feminism, all the way down to more kind of abstract, where like good versus evil. One of the really big ones that I liked the most was the talk about beauty and what that means, because for this world, beautiful means good. So everyone who's in the kind of good school or is like a princess or a prince and that kind of stuff is beautiful, and everyone who is in the evil school is not. And that's like the biggest thing when these two girls get like flip-flopped, because Sophie thinks that she is the most beautiful thing on the face of the planet and can't understand why she's an evil, and Agatha can't see herself as beautiful. And there's this beautiful scene, and I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's where Agatha is talking to one of her teachers and talking about beauty and, you know, how much like she feels like she should be in the good school but doesn't feel that way because she's not beautiful. And there's this beautiful moment where her teacher helps her become beautiful, and then Agatha realizes that her teacher didn't do anything to her, that she is the same that she always was, and everyone is looking at her like she's this beautiful thing, and it's because she's carrying herself differently. She thinks that she is beautiful, and therefore she is. And it's just this moment of like pure perfection. And I love that that is in a middle grade book, because that is something that, like, to this day, full grown adults have problems with beauty standards, and kind of training that like idea of beauty, it comes from within, and it's kind of, you know, who you are perfect as you, and that is beautiful. Having that in a book made for kids so that they can start off really young, kind of trying to not fall under that beauty standard, I think is really great. But yeah, it was so good, and I want to pick up the second one right away, but I have so much else I need to read this month, so I don't think I'm going to get to the second one quite yet, but it is going to be relatively quickly, because, like, freaking loved this world. Like, there was not a dull moment. Something was happening, whether it was you were learning about the two schools, you were learning about the worlds, like, there was just always something happening. So, like, I was never bored when I was reading this, which was awesome. But yes, that is another book down. I think that one was for my, like, creepy atmospheric read. It was. So that fulfilled my creepy atmospheric read. So that is 5 books out of 11 down. So I have a week and 3 days to finish 6 more, which is not going to happen. But that's okay, because I think I'm going to really try for 3 more books. And I think that's what's going to happen, because I really want to finish Molly Warner, which I'm on right now. I really want to read the group book, and I really want to pick up, which I think I'm going to do next, Lily and Duncan by Donna Gephardt. This is the one that I think I'm going to use for the friendship. Yes, read a book with a strong sense of friendship. And my best friend Lauren and I also, like, picked up this book at the same time, so we are kind of reading this, kind of butter reading this month, so I definitely need to get to this. So this one, Frostheart, which is the group book, and then Molly Warner are the 3 that I'm going to focus on. The others would be great to get to, but I'm not upset if I don't, because I have them on my shelves and I can read them whenever. So yeah, this is the one that I think I'm going to pick up on Audible next. Because this one's on audiobook and Frostheart is on audiobook, so I think I can get through those in the next week. That is my book update for you guys. My plans for the day are I need to go put the lights on the Christmas tree, because I've been meaning to do that for, when did I put it up? Sunday? So like 4 or 5 days now. I need to do that, and then I want to at least put the lights on, if not some of the ornaments. We shall see. But I might listen to this. I might listen to some Christmas music, because I'm feeling Christmassy. But that is my plan. And then later tonight, Chris and I are going kind of on like a mini date night. Chris really wants to see the new Mr. Rogers movie, and so we're gonna go to dinner and then go watch that. So we'll have like a mini date night tonight, which I'm very excited about. But those are the plans for the rest of the day. This week has turned out pretty good. I finished 2 books, so I will take it. But let's go get Christmassy and decorate a tree.
Let me get this straight, Professor. You're actually giving us permission to do this?
That is correct, Longbottom.
To blow it up? Boom!
Boom!
Hello! So I was editing this vlog and I realized that I never actually wrapped this one up. So I am doing that now. We didn't really do a whole lot this weekend. I was going to include it at the end of this wrap up, but I didn't really read and we didn't really do anything besides just hang out. We went to a game to see Chris's brother play, which was really fun, but it was rainy and cold and gross, and obviously I'm not going to record my misery in that sense. So not a whole lot to do there, but I thought I would update you, I guess, on what I completed this week, minus the, situation with my hard drive. I was able to have a pretty good week. I was able to finish 2 books, which is awesome. The first one that I finished was the Series of Fortune Events, The Bad Beginning, the very first one. I ended up giving this one 4 out of 5 stars. You've already seen all my thoughts on this, but that was a very good. I'm glad I went back in this world, and I'm going to continue on in the next few months. I think Serena and I are going to buddy read the second one in December, so that's going to be exciting. And then I finished the School for Good and Evil, the very first one, and I was toying between 4.5 and 5 stars, but I can't stop thinking about this book, so it's gonna get a 5-star from me. So I'm very, very excited about this, and I will definitely continue with this series. I don't know if I'm gonna have time in December because I have a million things that I want to read in December, but I will definitely continue with the second one either in December or January for sure. This one I can definitely see going on my favorites of the entire year list. And then I am still currently in the middle of Molly Warner's School Reporter. I just haven't made any progress. I just haven't been able to sit down and do it. And with there only being 2 days this week before we do leave town, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to get any of this done. Doesn't mean I'm going to put it down and not read it. It just means that it might not be completed in November, which is totally fine. But I'm going to try my hardest to actually sit down and make time out of the day. Only 2 chapters in, really want to continue. I'm very much enjoying what I'm reading. I just haven't had a lot of time to sit down and do that yet. And then I did kind of pick up the audiobook for Lily and Duncan, but I'm having some issues with the audiobook, so I might have to find it in a different format. I was listening to it on Scribd, and Scribd is being weird right now, but technically I've started this because I've read a page of it, but I don't know if that really counts. But yeah, that was kind of an idea of this week. It kind of includes these 4 primarily, but it was a really good reading week. I feel like this was my most successful as far as enjoyment in the books goes. Not that I haven't enjoyed, obviously, what I read before, because obviously I started this readathon out reading Harry Potter and completing 2 Harry Potter books, which was great. This was just good. Like, The School for Good and Evil, like, I can't stop raving about that book. I think that's all I've got for this vlog. I appreciate you guys so much for following me on this journey, this chunk in my life. Who knows what's going on anymore. But yeah, I appreciate you for watching. If you do watch and enjoyed something that I've said here, resonates with you, chat below. I love to talk with you guys. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to be part of this awesome feeling we've got going on here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!